Hey there, dream launchers and mad peeps. This is Dr. Yam, your Keep It Simple coach for women getting mad, motivated, accountable, and developing. And tonight we are all about developing so that we can get more motivated and get accountable for the goal that you're trying to achieve in starting your new biz idea. So this is day 3 of the focus power of focus. And so I hope that you all are finding yourselves well this evening. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. And do a quick recap of where we are so far in our learning series. Sunday night, I had, rather not Sunday night, but Tuesday. I tell you have a holiday and it just throws everything off. So on Tuesday, I started this series with really just kind of getting down to some basics about what is focus, what are some of the types of focus, what are some of the enemies of focus, and how the power of focus can help bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And I certainly hope that I am part of that gap filling process for you. That is the whole premise of the Women Getting Mad Facebook group here for you tonight. So yesterday, given some construction matters that I had to deal with, I didn't get a chance to speak with you directly. However, I did provide you with a reading exercise so that you could continue on in your learning. And just to give you a quick recap, I'm going to pull up my notes real quick. Part of yesterday's exercise was about how you can reclaim your time and why that is important. Once you can get a handle on time management, which for some may also be a struggle, but the focus on reclaiming your time was really centered on the fact that when you're distracted is the main reason for your lack of focus or the loss of focus. And so there are a variety of forms that distraction can come from. And so much of those distractions may not be as obvious as others may imagine. And so what I wanted to do is to give you a few things that in particular have to do with your habits and the fact that it is those habits that can cause the lack of focus to get into awry, for lack of a better term. So one of them, I'll just go through them real quick, was having a poor diet and nutrition. When you don't fuel your body with the proper foods and nutrients, it in and of itself is going to cause your body to get wacky. And so if your body's wacky, your brain is wacky, because your brain is basically what drives the whole body to operate. So when you put good food in, you're going to get good outcomes and vice versa. So it's okay to have a junk day every now and again. No one's going to, hurt you for that. But if it's an ongoing thing, you might want to get in check with that. We all are creatures of habit. So certainly if, just making more better decisions when it comes to the food that you're putting in your body, because that is going to attribute to you being focused. Another one of is the food only, but water being dehydrated. I tend to suffer from that a lot. I'm not a drinky water person all the time, but I try to make a conscious decision when I go into my office. I always have a cup in my hand. It's either a cup of tea, a cup of water, a cup of coffee. Try not to get the soda unless it's some sparkling water, because I like my fizz. But it's those things that when you're not getting the sufficient hydration, it's going to cause fatigue to kind of kick in. It's going to lower your mood. And even there's some statistics that show that too can lend to that lack of focus. Your diets, weight loss diets, be careful with that. Processed food, stay away from it as much as you possibly can. It gets you lethargic. Believe it or not, it's high in sodium, by the way, which again, get you to be lethargic and drag you down. And again, lack of focus. Junk food, get your snack on when you can. Choose better snacks than what you've been doing. A little nib of chocolate every now and then, not going to kill you. But if you're always picking out on the nachos, uh, check yourself. Um, for some of us who are in certain ages of hormones, and I don't mean just the older line, there are some young hormonal changes that happen as well, but certainly they can get into whack. So just be mindful of that and make sure that you're taking the proper steps to offset them as possibly can. Again, I am not the doctor in medicine, I am a doctor in education, but hormones can play a role in it based on my research. So I wanted you to be aware of that. And here's the one that a lot of us may fall into this trap, and that is a lack of sleep. Um, I am a night owl by trade, so therefore, it's not so much that I have a lack of sleep, it's just like, when do I go to sleep? But a lack of sleep is definitely going to havoc on your life when it comes to focus. And there's a lot of research out there from an educational standpoint of view. We know that students who are not getting enough sleep during their regular day, it does affect their learning abilities. And so we've even gone as far as changing school hours in order to get students to become more alert in school, get to school on time, and be contributors in the learning process. And of course, stress is another one that, again, if you are dealing with stressful matters, how those things again can contribute to it. And if you're getting all those things in alignment, then you are going to get the time back that you need in being able to give focus to the things that are important to you, like starting your new biz idea. Okay, let me circle back. Alrighty. Now, another item that you might want to be aware of before we move on to tonight's focus about stress. Let me make sure I have my other notes. Okay, your lack of physical abilities or activity, I should say. You want to do a little bit of routine on a activity, exercise, whatever your choice is. It could be low impact, high impact, but do something, even if it's simply doing 30-minute walks every other day for half a mile, whatever it is, but strive for something. And again, sometimes just your surroundings itself can be another drag. Take a check if you don't already have. For some of you, as you're starting to think about going into your business for yourself, start setting up that space that you're going to operate your business from, even if it's going to be from a home perspective for right now. Find a corner somewhere in your living habitat and make that your zone and get that so that it's appealing to you. Don't have to be a whole room. If that's what you don't have the luxury of, don't let that be an inhibitor. But your surroundings do make a difference. And so I want you to be, and we'll play house one day and talk about how you can start being creative and start planning for your new biz home office as well. So I think that'll be cool. Let me know if you're interested in that particular exercise. I would love to be able to have that conversation with you guys and have some fun doing it. All right. So tonight, what I thought I'd deal with, focus on a bit more is around, one, what are some of the things that highly successful people do in being self-disciplined? And that is a part of being really focused. And then another aspect I wanted to tap in a little bit on for you as we think about the power of focus has to do with just what are the benefits of being focused? Because sometimes, the power of focus means you have to be in a focused line, but what are some of the benefits of it? So now that we've talked about what are some of the things that cause you to get out of focus, let's now think about the things that can help you get into focus, and then what are successful people doing? Because at the end of the day, that's what you want. You yourself want to be a successful business owner, and so what are some of the key things that you should be mindful of and start getting ready to bring into your habit zone so that you can tap into the success lanes, as I know you all have the potential to do. Okay, I'm jumping back and forth so I can make sure I'm in. Okay, very good. With that said, let's just tap in a couple of things for tonight's challenge, rather coaching challenge. I shouldn't say that word. That's not what this activity is. I was doing some training today. So, so again, what are some of the benefits when we think about being focused? One of the things it is a benefit for is that it does allow your body and your mind to kind of have an overall quality of life that you can certainly benefit from, and that you can be a greater achiever in your success and being in control of your own life. So one of the things is that when you are focused, it does help take control of things. And what I mean by that is when you are focused and you can take control of things that you're doing, then that means that it's going to be easier for you to apply those different focus types of focus that we talked about before. Your inner focus is going to help you to stay on track, and it's going to help you from being distracted as well as being able to play that role. And the reason for that too is when you are solid in your inner focus, then you're able to be more cognizant of the things you know you want to accomplish. So you're able to take control and make the decisions that you want to be able to make to get there where you're trying to be. So that's one of the benefits, is being able to take control of situations and then be able to handle the matters that are given to you. Another thing that is important is that it's going to yield you some positive energy. And so, yes, when you have focus, you're able to generate the positive energy that's going to allow you to look at things differently and take things in a positive light. You're not going to get sucked into negative speak or negative talk because you are focused on what you're trying to accomplish. So you're less likely to fall into those traps. And what it's going to ask you to do is going to amplify those your attention span, and it's going to allow you to negate or keep those negative aspects away. So that energy that's positive is going to override. So that's another great thing. When you're focused, you can feel it yourself that you're getting things accomplished, and you can kind of feel that in your bones in a sense. So that's one of the other benefits, is that it can start to generate some positive energy for yourself. And you want to be positive and have positive energy around you because, number one, it makes you feel good. And number two, it's going to enhance your problem solving skills. One of the key aspects of being in business for yourself is you're actually, remember, the whole point of going into business is you are a problem solver for somebody else by way of your service or by way of a product. And so when you're able to be focused, the benefit is that it's going to enhance your problem solving skills. And part of being in business is that you will come into things will happen. You want to be able to make the decisions and be able to do them with a clear mind. And that is one of the other benefits. So when you're focused and things do occur, you're going to be much more comfortable doing those problem solving activities that are going to be necessary. So, and how you can approach them. So that's the other great thing about when you are in the power of focus, is going to allow you to problem solve much easier in those enhancing skills. In fact, instead of being more problem focused in your thinking, you'll be more solution focused in your thinking. And that's really what you want. You want to be able to deal with problems head on, get them resolved so that you can go back to whatever your real needs are at any given time. So, and then also it's going to be able to yield you some results. You can get through things much quicker when you are focused, and then those problem solving skills kind of kick into high gear. And then again, using those positive energies is going to allow you to do that. So think about that. Another thing with those decision-making skills too is that you're going to get a lot more comfortable. So once you're focused and you're able to make the decisions that you're going to be doing on a daily basis as a business owner, you'll have a sense of ease and a sense of comfort because those the energy is high. You got the distractors out the way, and it's not going to it'll allow you to make the right decision. Sometimes you can make decisions, doesn't make them the right ones, but once you're comfortable, you don't have other distractions in the way, it allows you to take those critical thinking skills and be able to make the decisions that are going to yield you a positive result. Okay? And another thing that you want to think about is, wait a minute, where's my notes? Okay, yeah. Giving those, yeah. We want to be able to get the right information so that you can make a good decision. So decision making is going to be another great benefit from that. When you're focused, it's going to allow you again to remove distractors easier. You're going to notice things that it was like, that's not something I need to have in my life, and you're going to be able to get those things out of your way, and you won't have any hesitation in doing so. So that's another great thing about it. When you're focused in and of itself, it's going to not allow distractors to come into your way because you've overpowered them with your positive thinking and the sense that you want to get things accomplished. So know that. And then once you're able to make decisions, then when you're getting decisions done, that means you're getting results. That means you're getting things done. And that in and of itself means check marks that you can start to build off. I don't know if I've told you before, but I am a checklist maker. And so I like to make my list at the beginning, or either the night before is usually when you should do it. Sometimes I don't do them all the time, but usually first thing in the morning or last thing at night, I've made my checklist of things that I know I need to get accomplished. My top 3 are always on the top, or they're numbered, numbers 1, 2, and 3 if I start making my list and it gets out of order. But I at least know that I'm going to feel comfortable making a decision on my list of the 3 critical things that I know if I don't do anything else for the day, those are the 3 things that I'll get done, and I'm going to feel okay, even if the rest of the things on the list don't get done. So feeling and getting things done are great outcomes when you are the benefits of having focus. And of course, you're going to feel satisfaction at the same time. And the nice thing too is when you really focus, it starts to build momentum. And what that means is that you'll be able to just keep that type of disposition going. You're going to feel more, like I said, the energy allows you to keep things going. You won't feel as though you're feeling more like you're getting things in more effective in what you're doing at the same time. So it starts to kind of get like a snowball effect. Once you start getting positive reactions in what you're doing and you're staying focused, you're not letting distractions get in the way, it's going to keep you on a natural high in a sense. So I thought that was important to kind of bring to the table. And of course, when you're focused, you don't have any stress, or less stress, I should say. There's always a level of stress in our lives. For business owners, we're going to freak out every now and again when we don't get paid, or we didn't send something off, or maybe we didn't make as critical a decision, or we didn't have a satisfied customer, or our website might have went down. So yes, you're going to get stressed. That'll happen, but it's not an ongoing stress that you're going to be carrying with you all the time. And even if you do have those stressful moments, because of the level of focus, you're going to be able to deal with those situations much better. And of course, by doing so, you're going to have increased engagement. And that's another great thing. Remember, just because you're in business for yourself, not by yourself, but it's going to allow you, when you have a power of focus, you're going to be able to engage with people at a better level. And that's always a good thing, because being in business is all about connecting with your clients or your customers. And if you're not connecting with your clients and the customers, it's going to be mighty darn hard for you to generate any income. So you got to connect with them, even if it's in the power of the word, or if it's just in face-to-face or online. So all of those things kind of really fall into play. So hopefully you saw those as being helpful as far as some of the benefits. Now, how is it that highly successful people develop the self-discipline to stay focused? Because that's a skill set in and of itself. It's not something we all come into naturally all the time. So you certainly want to make sure, like, what are some of the, do what other successful people do. We learn from how other successful people get these things accomplished. So what are some of the things that highly successful people can be doing that you can mimic? So in my notes, let me see some of the things I got for you for tonight. So one is vision. And when we mean vision, not the look I can see you vision, but highly successful people know exactly what they want to be in life, or what they want to do in life, or what they want to do when it comes to their business. So once that is said, so that in order for you to be successful is creating a vision board. Now, I have my vision board. In fact, I have a digital one because I'm traveling, so I don't have my regular one here on on my phone. I'm going to give you a quick look so you can kind of see. This is what it looks like when on my phone. And if you guys want to engage in doing a vision boarding exercise, I'll be hosting a new one really soon. So please sign up for that. It's a virtual vision boarding. So yeah, I'll be able to do, and we'll be able to do our vision boards together. So please put in the comments if you're interested in doing the next upcoming virtual vision board. Don't miss out on it this time. So we had some really good fun last time, and that's how I was able to get this one done. So, and I did them in the quarter, so you can, but having a vision board is, I have just found it to be a very positive and powerful exercise that if that's not something you've done before, I just greatly, greatly encourage you all to participate in at least one for yourself. Do that for yourselves. We're getting ready to go into the new fiscal year. And so why not go in it headstrong, focused with a vision board? So don't let that pass you by the next time we host it. Because visualization is key. The whole practice about gathering vivid images of the things and how you see yourself, or things that are going to generate that positive energy, that positive flow, and also how it can keep you focused, is very powerful. So just know that visualization is what highly successful people do to gain and get the outcomes that they've been getting. Another thing is prioritizing. When you are, as a successful owner, business owner, you've got to be able to know what are the priorities daily and that are going to get you to the outcomes that you're striving for. So you've got to be able to understand and be able to know where are your no's, the power of no. Just like there's the power of focus, there is the power of no. And some of us are not as strong in saying no and allowing things to creep in as others. And that is a skill set. It doesn't come naturally for everyone. So don't feel ashamed, but do know that we do have to be able to make decisions, right? That's again, one of those, the benefits, right? Is making decisions and being able to prioritize. What are the things that are going to be key and important? And as you start to enter into the zone of going into business for yourself, you're going to have to start to make some hard decisions. And that means prioritizing. Things that may have been, are as important, but in order for you to move your needle, you're going to need to have to make some hard decisions and prioritize people and your money and well, and your overall goal in and of itself. But what are some of those things that are going to be that's going to be necessary? And so highly successful people, to be, you have to be very self-disciplined, is prioritizing. And so that's an exercise that you can start to think about as well. Just again, saying no to those distractions. You know what easily distracts you. And so it could be an invitation to go have a Netflix account, watching movies all the time, anything that can easily distract you. Being able to say no is part of what highly successful people do in order for them to have that self-discipline. So the power of no, just like the power of positive, of focus, is going to allow you to get to levels of success. So think through what are some of the things that you need to start practicing saying no. Saying no inside, and no one has to say it, even if it hasn't come out your mouth yet, if that's a step in the right direction. But just know that successful people are not as prone to easily getting distracted and being able to say no. That means saying no to social media. It's nothing for it blocks of time. So you need to know, like, I'm going to shut things off so I can focus on these things. Or it may be some other no's that you just want to help people. Maybe you need to start to whittle down on some of the people in your life, or at least, again, how often you may be interacting with them. If they're going to drag you down and you know that's an effect that they have on you, then be honest with yourself and start saying no. Okay? And making sure I'm going back. Okay. So another item that we want to, that in my research, that has to do with what other highly successful people do and being self-disciplined, is handling one task at a time. There has been, as very, very recently, this whole aspect about multitasking. Well, it's not as effective as what some people may think. And what I mean by not multitasking, the fact that, yeah, I could be on the phone talking and driving at the same time, but highly successful people are very realistic about the things they have on their to-do list. And that also means that you're not, you're spending your time wisely. And that also means that if I can give critical focus to this one task and get it done, it's going to get off my list a whole lot faster than me trying to attract three things at the same time. At least you think you may think that you're getting things accomplished, but there's no way that you really are. Be honest with yourself and just know that you can get to the finish line a whole lot quicker if you focus on the one thing at a time, check it off, and move on to the next. You're not wasting time, and you're not also procrastinating, and that might start to creep in at the same time. And also think about your goals and how you might need to kind of divvy those up. That's another thing that successful people are prone to do, is that they have big goals, but then they start to chunk them down. So if you recall in a prior coaching session, we talked about goal setting and the fact that you can have long-term goals, but then you have your short-term goals that get you to your long-term goals. And that in and of itself is a huge strategy that successful people do. So chunk those down. Another thing that successful people do in their self-discipline is rewards and breaks. So give yourself a pat in the back every now and then as you start checking things off. You can reward yourself. Give yourself a reward system. If it might be a Hershey's Kiss, every time you do something, check off, you might say, I got 10 items that got to get done today. I'm going to line up my 10 Hershey Kisses. And for every time I get one done, I get to reward myself with a Hershey's Kiss. It could be just that simple. Or for every time you do something reward, it might be an opportunity for you to earn yourself a point to get you a new item that you've always wanted. So create your own incentive programs so that you can start to feel good about the things that you're doing as you're getting them accomplished. Another thing is taking breaks. Just like sleep, if you don't take your breaks, you got to have break time. Your brain can't be on 24/7. So learn how to take breaks. Step away from the computer, go into another room, go fold some clothes, whatever it may be, but do learn how to take breaks. In fact, I believe I do have a list, I think, of like 30 or 25 ways on how you can take a break. So I'll make sure to post that up here for you guys so that you can take advantage of that. I'm going back and forth. Okay. And then breaks and rewards. And again, your breaks and your rewards also are how you may want to spend time. You may have a dog, you may have your kids, anything that you, or just going out with a friend for a lunch break, or even having a video chat just to kind of give your brain a break. And then another thing that our successful people do in being self-disciplined is they learn from their mistakes. And so they can be the simple ones or even the big ones. But the premise is that no, number one, as a successful business owner, you are going to have highs and you're going to have lows. And you're going to be sometimes you thought was a good decision, but it just didn't pan out. And some things are not in your control. But that doesn't mean that it's not a learning moment. So take ownership of whatever it is that might have happened. But every time you do make a mistake, you want to remind yourself that it is a blessing at the same time, because if it was not for that mistake, something even worse could have happened. So you kind of have to take it in stride with respect to that. So give yourself credit for what you've done, get yourself back on the right path, and then each time you can go for a higher goal, you can get a higher sense of accomplishment because you learned from those mistakes. And then last but not least, loving what you do is probably the most critical thing about what highly successful people have done in getting their self-discipline. Is there's no point, particularly those of you who are here in this group for that reason, you are trying to shift from being an employee to being an entrepreneur. You better love what you're getting ready to go into, because otherwise you can stay where you're at right now. There's no point in being miserable in your own business. So you want to be able to do things that you truly enjoy doing, and that in and of itself is going to reduce your stress. So do know that doing what you love is the greatest thing that you can do for yourself when you're going into business. And then, of course, take charge of the energy that you have in exhibiting. Being positive and staying positive, being around positive people are going to keep you lifted up. Have your buddy, have your friend that you can check in with just so that you can keep your spirits high. Prayer buddy, whatever you need to call it, but that's what you need to have. Remember, just because you're in business for yourself doesn't mean you have to do it by yourself. And so tonight, those are my coaching tips on how, again, the power of focus, staying focused on who you are, what you're trying to do, getting in and raising your energy levels, staying positive, making sure that you're not falling into any of those traps, and then taking into account of what are some of the things that others highly successful people are being self-disciplined in doing so that you can start to take advantage of those same strategies and applying them to yourself so that you too can be a highly successful new business owner. I know you can do it. And so for that, let's get busy. Talk to you guys real soon and see you tomorrow.